Hey everyone, and welcome to Drinking with Dana. Uh, this is going to be kind of a weird show tonight. Let's just say it is more half-assed than usual tonight, and that's saying something. But I'll say, hi Winter Vespers, thank you for subscribing again. I really appreciate that. And also, Morning Wind, hello, how are you? By the way, there are new emotes to use in the chat that I put in there. So have fun with those. They haven't given me any more animated ones yet. So when they do, you'll get those. But I moved things around a little bit because there were some. Basically, if you donate, not donate, but give like 10,000 bits, over time you get a special emote, and if you get like 50,000 or so on and so forth, you get higher level emotes, and no one's gotten there yet. So I'm just I move things around so people have more access. Also, they gave me a bunch of non-animated slots, so I filled those in. I hope you enjoy them. So like I say, things have been busy and tired. I've just been exhausted for the last week or so. So hopefully I will make it through this without collapsing. I do want to let folks know that there's going to be, basically the upcoming schedule for December, which is that the next episode on December 13th is going to be the marathon stream for charity. The charity this year is going to be Rainbow Railroad. I need to finish getting that set up, but I should be able to do that all through Twitch. And they're a organization that basically helps LGBTQIA folks around the world get out of countries that want to kill them and get them to someplace safe. So I figured that was a good thing to do. So I will get that set up. That's December 13th. I'm going to be starting at noon. I'm going to be baking cookies all day, put the recipes up on the screen, and then at 6 o'clock, I'll do my usual show for as long as I can keep standing. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do what I did last year, which is that for every $100, I'll add something to make for the stream. I've got a couple of bonus drinks already queued up for things to do. Sorry, I'm seeing something weird in my, here. Okay. I don't know what just happened, but alright, there's something weird going on in the activity feed here, which I don't know enough to do. Here, I think I don't know. Basically, Winter Vespers did a bunch of emotes, and for some reason it didn't show up. I think it was telling me that she did a lot of them, and I don't know how to approve that. So sorry. Anyway, I'm getting distracted. So that is December 13th. Like I say, all the money raised that day will go to charity. I'm looking forward to that. December 27th is the show after that, so that's 2 days after Christmas. It might be a light show. I'm not sure I'm going to be up for doing much more than just hanging out and chatting and maybe making a cocktail. After that, though, in January, I'm going to be taking a break. It's been a rough few years, and I haven't really had a good break except when I was recovering from surgery or, some illness or something like that for quite a while. So I'm going to basically take January off, and the first show in February as well, because there's a game convention I'm going to go to right then. And actually the next show that I'm going to do, after January would be, February 21st. So that's right after that convention. So I'm basically, I've been kind of scrambling to get recipes for a while. And even when I've taken time off to do that, I just haven't been able to to get around to it. Something always comes up. So I'm hoping by taking a whole month off, I've got like 3 boxes of my mom's recipes that I need to just go through and find stuff and make stuff from that, try things out. Uh, Morning Wind says, I'm very glad you're taking time off for self care. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hate to lose the momentum we've got going here. Um, we've got such a great crowd, and I love being here for folks. I love having everyone here, and I'm going to miss seeing everyone, but I'll still be around on social media and all that, so I'm not going to be hard to find. I need to take some time to actually do some other things. I've got this cookbook that I was writing for my nephews. It's like all the family recipes and all that. And the idea was I was going to give it to them when they graduated from high school. Well, they've both graduated from college now, and I'm still not done with it. So maybe I'll work on that a little bit. But mostly, I think I'm going to rest. All right. Well, so that's the schedule for December, January, up into February. I may get bored and like pop on and just chat with folks for a while. Who knows? If I do, I'll announce it in all the usual spots. But, anyway. So, gonna do move right on to the first drink here. Oh, Winter Vesper says, I really love your top. I've known a lot of people in my time who use Tinkerbell to mean me, and it's so healing for me to see it used this way. Yet, I've always been a huge Tinkerbell fan. She is objectively the best Disney character, and one of these days someone can buy me a drink and I will go on my full rant about that. But yes, I've always loved Tinkerbell, and as I've said a few times, that Disneyland was one of the first places I could really go to be myself. So I've got a lot of Disney clothing, but I love that they started doing interesting, fashionable, adult stuff that has their characters on it, and I really love it. So thank you. Let's see. All right. So yes, Tinkerbell is the best. But on to a different property. I'm going to make a Malibu Barbie drink, as you can see up on the recipe up there, because we here at Drinking with Dana Incorporated are nothing if not on the cutting edge of pop culture. Are people still talking about Barbie? I hope they are. Basically, I didn't make this because it's a Barbie thing, although Lori is a huge Barbie fan. She used to have all the really fancy Barbies. And I actually still have the, not Yvonne Craig, not Eartha Kitt. Basically, they're Catwoman from the 1960s Catwoman Barbie. Winter Vespers is very excited about Malibu Barbie, and Morning Wind says, I think they're still talking about her. Good. I'm glad. I like the movie, but anyway, so this is a non-alcoholic cocktail, and one of the reasons I picked it out is because it just sounded good. It's a lot of juices. It's interesting. I've never really had coconut water before trying this. Mango juice is unusual. I thought it might be interesting. So let's make it and see how it is. And like you say, you can see that it's just almost all juice here. What do I do with my measuring thing here? Here it is. Okay, so we're start off with 2 ounces of coconut water. And I just bought a little thing from Safeway here. Other brands are available. And so here's a little trick for those unfamiliar. When the spout is on one side, you want to pour from the other side. So the spout is on top. There's a trick you learn when pouring motor oil, actually. And did I shake this up? Here, well, here's one in. Let me shake this up a bit more. I'm not sure if you have to. Again, I don't really have coconut water all that much. Hopefully I didn't just ruin it. can always toss it out and do it again. If this doesn't come out clear. Nope, it's clear. So, okay. Probably didn't need to shake it then, but it happened. So, that's 2 ounces of coconut water, 1 ounce of mango juice. Now, mango juice is a little tricky to find in just pure mango juice form. So this is a Jumex mango nectar from concentrate. It's basically a mango cocktail type thing. It's they added some sugar and citric acid to it, but it's about as close as I could get. It's 20% juice, so without having to buy like a giant thing of it. Oh, hi Ogre, glad to see you here. Oh, did I miss someone? Okay. Oh, hoi polloi. That's what you're saying. I thought you said hi polloi, and I was like, who's polloi? All right, so we need 1 ounce of mango juice. Oh, I should mention, and again, I should probably have shaken this up a little bit more, but I think it's okay. That's about right. So I'm pouring this all into a shaker. They say to put it into a mixing glass or just into your glass and then stir it. I prefer to shake this because I think it gives it a better texture. But to each their own. It says 3 ounces of cranberry juice, and I don't think that's right. I think I've got the original recipe here. Oh, come on. That should be 2 ounces of cranberry juice up there. I'm sorry about that. And I've just got a little thing of ocean spray here. And again, this is a cranberry cocktail. You don't want to use straight cranberry juice because it is really tart. It will throw off the balance. Ogre Marca says, those canned mango nectars are so good. Yeah, they are, and they are very sugary. I've been Jumex and which I'm probably mispronouncing, and what is it? Something Kern's nectars are very good. It's nice that they have unusual juices in small containers for like $1. It's really handy. Most places, at least our local grocery store, they only have the giant things of cranberry juice or of blueberry and that kind of thing, and so you spend $6 for it, and you're only going to use an ounce before it goes bad. So that's by the way 2 ounces of cranberry juice. So, but I did find some small ones of the cranberry, and I like these small cans of the other juices as well. Really handy. Also, like I say, if you have leftover juices like the mango or some of the others, just mix them half and half with champagne, and it is delightful. Ogre says they're very sugary. Yes, they are. But I mean, all juice is. Let's see. Julie Newmar. That was it. It's the so Winter Vesper says Catwoman in the 60s. Batman was played by 3 actresses. Julie Newmar, Lee Merriweather, and Eartha Kitt. And yes, it's the Julie Newmar one. So yes, I have the Julie Newmar Barbie sitting on my desk. I used to have a different one for a while. But all right, so got the cranberry juice in there, and again, that's only 2 ounces, not 3. I mistyped when I was doing that up. I typed up all the graphics for this today because, as I said, I am behind on everything. All right, so 2 ounces of pineapple juice. And then 1 ounce of orange juice. And that I'm just using Minute Maid. It's got calcium and vitamin D and everything, and so it's practically a health drink. Actually, in this case, it is a health drink. It's all juice. It's got a lot of sugar, but it's probably got some vitamins and stuff. All right. So, and then add that in. And now we shake. If you'll excuse me for a moment. All right. So now I did say I'm shaking it. They do say you can shake this, and instead of pouring it into a rocks glass, you divide it up amongst martini glasses. They also say that you can rim the glass with pink sanding sugar. In my opinion, that would be a little much, but I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a minute. Let's see. Ogre Marco says, we have a personalized Barbie from when they were doing that, and she's very mod. Maybe customized is a better way to say it. Very cool. Yeah, no, Lori just had all of the, she had the Scooby Gang, she had Mulder and Scully, she actually had the alien from To Serve Man, which wasn't technically a Barbie, but it was exactly the right size for that. So... And then we're going to garnish this with a slice of pineapple and a cherry. Let me, they did something kind of clever in the picture for the recipe, so I'm going to see if I can replicate that. Let's see. Open out. Cherry juice off my finger so I don't stain everything. And there we go. A Malibu Barbie cocktail, or mocktail drink. I mean, the fact that they just call it a drink as opposed to using any other term, and the fact that it's all juices, and it's, I don't know, so I got this from mocktail.net, and it was, I think, from before the movie even happened. It gives me a feeling it was meant to be kind of a kid's drink. So let's give it a try and see what we think about it. It's nice. It's I don't know. It's just kind of juice, and the strange thing is, it's not even very strongly flavored juice because the coconut water kind of just waters it down a bit. Um, Not to say it's bad. Don't get me wrong. It's just more mild than the color would suggest. Um, but that's why the last item on the recipe is there. Because I had this and I thought it was fine. It was a decent drink, and it's it certainly is a cocktail. You make it look like a cocktail. It feels like a cocktail. It's just it feels like it's missing something in my opinion. And so, um, so Uh, Morningwood says it's pretty and perfect for the beach, and Winter Vesper says I haven't tried it yet, but I think it might end up as my favorite mocktail. I'd be interested to see what you think. Like I say, for me, it felt like it was missing something, and then I thought back to like Greg from How to Drink, who adds bitters to everything, specifically Angostura. He's got an addiction that verges on carnal, but there is a point there. And so what I was going to do is add some of these tiki bitters to it. You could add Angostura. You could add, whatever sounds right, and it'd probably work. I have these tiki bitters. Now, you're going to say, Dana, aren't bitters alcoholic? Yes, they're very alcoholic. There's I think Angostura bitters are around 45% alcohol by volume. But you add so little to them to such a large volume that they said I looked it up and they said if you have a 5 ounce drink and you add like 2 dashes of bitters to it, it ends up being 0.15% alcohol at the end. So basically, you're going to get more than that adding vanilla to your baking. Although that gets baked off, but that's beside the point. It's about like adding vanilla to something. So I am going to give this a try. In my opinion, if you're allergic to alcohol, absolutely don't do this. There might be bitters, non-alcoholic bitters out there. Give that a try. But I think these are going to be these are going to give it what it's missing. So I'm just going to do 1 and 2 of the dropperfuls here. And I'll just use this to stir it around. Doesn't really darken it up at all. And actually, so the color of this reminds me a lot of strawberry juice. If you get actual strawberry juice or strawberry juice cocktail, it's this nice pinkish color. So cheers, let's see what that does. That's what it was missing. It's missing some of the spiciness. It's missing a note behind the juice flavors because the juice, even though there's like 5 different juices in here, 5. Oh, and I actually just realized the other thing I was supposed to put on top was a splash of grenadine, so to make it even pinker. Although my grenadine's gotten a little dark, I need to make a new batch. It's still perfectly good, but anyway, but there's all the juice flavors. And by the way, that wasn't what it was missing. It wasn't missing the grenadine because I tried this the other night just to test it out. Hi, Scott, and hi, Liz Sunrise. How are you doing? Anyway, so yes, the juices are there. But they kind of hit all at once, and it takes a while to detangle them. But it's still kind of it feels a little watered down. By adding the bitters in, it adds that second note, which really complements the rest of it, and it makes it taste a little bit more interesting and a little bit more like a cocktail to me. Now, so like I say, you can leave them out; they'll be perfectly fine. It's a beautiful drink. It's a lovely tasting drink. I think that if you add some bitters, and especially if you can add, if you find non-alcoholic bitters, great. I think they would do fine. I think this would be fine with Angostura. I love the tiki bitters, so I use them. So, anyway, cheers. Winter Vespers asks, could it be scaled up to keep a picture of it in the fridge, or would that spoil it somehow? Yes, actually. So the original recipe was double this, and they listed it in cups. Because was it 2 ounces? I believe is a quarter cup. Do I have that here? 8 ounces is a cup. So yeah, quarter cup is 2 ounces. So just if you want to do that conversion, you can. I'm not sure. Let's see. If you scaled it up and kept it in the fridge, I would drink it quickish. Depending on how well you have it sealed up, I wouldn't just leave it like in a pitcher. I guess you could with plastic wrap over it, but the less air you have in there, the better it's going to keep. And you could if you drank it in a week, it would probably be fine. It's not going to be, it's going to decline a little bit, but when it starts tasting not so fresh, that's when you should probably stop, I guess is the best way to put it. But yeah, no, you can absolutely scale it up. Like I say, my original thought on this was that it was meant for like a kids party drink. So they wanted it to be, they wanted it to be something you could scale up. Now, and like I say, just because it's meant for kids doesn't mean it's not great. It just means that was the vibe I got from it. So, um, yeah. So anyway, I keep feeling like I'm down talking this drink, and it's a perfectly fine drink. It's great. There's a reason I put it on the show. So I'm glad you like it. I'm eager to hear what you have to your own opinion about it. This is mine. I do things to my taste, and you do them to yours, and we'll figure things out. All right. I'm rambling now. So I'm going to move on to the next thing after I clean up a little bit here. So yeah, I do not mean to be down talking this. I think it's a perfectly fine drink. I think it is. I think it's lovely. You're saying your it might be your favorite one that I've made on the show so far. I think mine's still the first non-alcoholic one that we did. I think it was the Neruda. That was in my opinion a very good mocktail. I don't know if anyone out there ever made that one, but I really rather liked it. But I've got a few more that I'm queuing up. Like I say, this mocktails.net or mocktail.net is a good resource for that because they actually do, like I say, make drinks that feel like cocktails, even when they're non-alcoholic. So, all right, let me put some of this back, and then I will get started on the food. Okay. So, the food this week. All right. Okay. All right. Like I say, I'm kind of tired this week. Oh. So, Winter Vespers asks, when I refer to it, should I correctly call it a Malibu Barbie or a Malibu Barbie drink? So, the recipe from the site that I got it called it Malibu Barbie Drink. And so, you can abbreviate that if you want, but that's what they called it. If you want the actual one, just search for Malibu or Malibu Barbie on mocktail.net, and you'll find the original recipe there. And it's the one downside to Malibu Barbie, or not to mocktail.net is they're one of those sites that gives you a ton of information about Malibu and about Barbie and about why they thought that might be a good idea to make this drink and so on. And it's like 10 pages of text and then the recipe at the bottom. You can just jump straight to the recipe. So that's why I usually do. And again, the reason they do that is just because you can't copyright a recipe, but you can copyright all the text around a recipe. So, right. So that's that. All right. So food. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I am half-assing it this week, even more than usual. So we are making, and I say that because the recipe is easy sticky wings with hot sauce, which is a recipe I've never made before. I just didn't have time or energy to try it out before doing it for the show, which I try not to do. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes I'm just like, oh, this is good, and it's from a source I trust. Let's give it a go and see what I think. Usually I do that with drinks. I think this might be one of the first times I'm doing it with food. I think I've done it once or twice with food before. But this is the Omnivore's Cookbook, and I think actually the last time I did it was also with the Omnivore's Cookbook. I don't think I've had a bad recipe from them ever. Or I should say her, because I think it's one woman doing it. And all of her recipes are fantastic. And there's another reason I'm doing this. I chose this one because basically I was just going through my stack of recipes, and I had originally planned on doing it was pad thai popcorn, which looked really good. And I've made that one a couple of times before. I think Ogre's even had some of it before. But then I was like, that's 2 popcorn recipes in a row, and this you have to stick it in the oven. It takes like 45 minutes once you put it in the oven, and I don't want to work out the timing for that this week. The other reason why I saw this one and I was like, yes, this is the one to do, is because Lori doesn't like wings. So I never get it. I don't make them because she just doesn't like them. I think I found one restaurant that has wings that she likes, and then she's kind of lukewarm on them. Whereas I like wings, and so I'm gonna, this is my excuse to make them. Um, oh, Ska is there, and she says, "I love your hoodie, Dana." Thank you. We were talking about that earlier. Yes, I've had this for years. This whole thing, but yes, I really enjoy it, and thank you.
Sorry, did somebody say my name?
Yes, Lori's here, and she can defend why she doesn't actually like wings.
That would be because people typically cook them too long, and so then you have lots of spicy outside and lots of dry inside.
And I have to say, oh yes, that's the other thing, is that Lori is not a fan of spice on food. And I should say hot spice, not just any spices.
Like, I'm down with vanilla. And turmeric and cumin and whatever, just not spicy, like, yeah.
Not peppers or anything like that.
It will overwhelm my tongue, and then I can't taste anything else except hot.
Yes.
Yes, I was born a white girl, and I have to suffer the white girl tongue.
Yes. Anyway, so, and this does have hot sauce in it. That's actually in the name. The actual title of the recipe is Easy Sticky Wings with Hot Sauce. We are using sriracha hot sauce, which is not terribly hot, although it does build up. Oh, our anonymous benefactor gave Ska a tier 1 sub. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Also, I know Ska is working tonight, so thank you very much for stopping by and saying hi. Speaking of which, Winter Vespers and Morning Wind are both saying hi to you, Lori, and
Hello.
Saying that they're glad you're feeling better.
Well, I'm medicated, so that's good. That's probably why I'm feeling better.
Oh, and our anonymous gifter gave Liz Sunrise also a tier 1 sub, so thank you again. That is fantastic. I really appreciate you doing that, whoever you are out there. So anyway, yes. So that's why I'm making the wings, and love you, beautiful.
Love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, so... and I picked up these wings this morning. I'm now looking at them and seeing that they're still jointed. They're the whole wing here. So I'm actually going to cut those into pieces, if that's necessary. Which is good, because that'll give us a chance to show how to do that. Now, it called for 1 3/4 pounds of wings. And if I cut the wingtips off, we might be a little short on that. So, well, let me cut this up. So, this is the full wing here. What you want to do is just cut it at the joints. You want your biggest, heaviest knife for this, in my opinion. Then once you get back to where you reveal a joint, you just pull it back and you heard it crack like that. And then you can just kind of fit your knife in between there. I should probably cut around a little bit more, but you should just be able to pull it apart and then get your knife between and cut it out. Same thing at the other joints. Just want to find where it bends, cut around it. And that's how you get the traditional wing shapes here of the wing part and then the mini drumstick part. And unfortunately, the wing tips there are pretty much useless. So I think Alton Brown once said that they had no culinary value apart from making stock. So I'm sure there is some way to use them other than that, but if there is, I haven't found it yet. So. It's always a thrill a minute over here on Drinking with Dana. So, all right. We'll get through this. And actually, I should be heating up my pan. We want to arrange the chicken wings in one layer and a 12-inch nonstick skillet, skin side up. All have skin on both sides. Use 2 skillets if necessary. Huh. Okay, apparently we turn on the heat after getting the chicken in there and sprinkled with a little bit of salt. This is the other reason why I normally get things, why I practice with them first, so I know what I'm doing. So, there it is. I should actually do that right up next to the camera so you can see what I'm doing. So, although that might be a little gross for folks. Oh, Ogre says that the wingtips make awesome stock. They're the best part of the whole bird for stock. I did not know that. Usually I use the carcass of a roasted chicken for making stock. So I'll have to give this. Maybe I'll save these out and make a small batch. Throw in some turkey bones too. All right, so I've cut the chicken down to where the bone should be. You just pull it back, and I don't know if you can see this, but the bones just come out, and then I'm going to just feed my knife between those two, and there we go. Voila. So actually, since I need to arrange them in a pan, I will do that just to clear some space. All right. So how was everyone's Thanksgiving? Ours was pretty quiet. It was just Lori and I here. Although I did a modified version of our usual Thanksgiving dinner. I still cooked the turkey. I just left off and I made stuffing too, because that was the one thing Lori requested. But beyond that, we just kept it pretty mellow. Also, the stuffing did not turn out. So at my family's house back when my folks were still around, my mom handed off the holiday meal stuff to me. But what that means is just that I'm kind of the field general. I'll cook the turkey and I'll do, make the gravy and that kind of thing. But I'm mostly wrangling other people, making sure they get their parts done and stuff like that. So I've never actually made the stuffing before. I always pawn that off on someone else because it is a complicated stuffing. It is a 3 mushroom stuffing with prosciutto. With crispy prosciutto, sorry. And it is delightful, but I don't know if it's because I halved the batch or what, but it ended up kind of a little too moist. Let's just leave it at that. So it wasn't really that great on the day of, but the next day or a couple days after, I fried some up in a pan with a little bit of oil, and it didn't really crisp up, but it did drive off some of that excess moisture, and it ended up being pretty darn good. So, anyway, let's see. Let's see. Mark says the reason why the wingtips are so good is they're nothing but connective tissue. Scott says I love subs. Nom nom nom. And Morgan says Scott. Let's see. Winter Vespers had they had a veggie turkey, stuffing, cranberry sauce, mashed potatoes, gravy, pumpkin pie. Wow, that sounds fantastic. We did have a pie. We had huckleberry pie, which is so usually again with the big family gathering, we have we always have the pumpkin pie, and then I always make a huckleberry pie using Northwest huckleberries, and it is an amazing pie. But I kind of miss the pumpkin too. So, right. So let's. I'm going to do this. See if this works. Yes, there are the. That is the wings there. Am I? Let's see. I always do this wrong. There we go. All right. I'm going to turn this over a little bit so you can see. Well, here. So I need to add a quarter teaspoon of salt to each side. Or each, Basically add the salt, flip it over. And I apologize if you're not going to really be able to see me while I work on this. And I apologize if I just flooded everything out. So I'm just going to kind of sprinkle here. There we go. And I'd be a little bit worried about getting too much salt in the pan because there is soy sauce in the sauce, but it says to do it this way, so I'm sure they're going to be fine. And besides, you want your wings a little bit on the salty side. All right, so that is the that side. I'm going to flip everyone over, do the other side, and I'll turn on the heat. So, yeah, it's, like I say, we've been trying to pull back on stuff. So we just had this is our first year not having the big family Thanksgiving, and it was a little bit more relaxed. So I'm pretty happy about that. But we're all getting together for Christmas still and all that. But we're still trying to sell my parents' house, so we didn't really have a place to do it because neither my brother's house nor mine has a really big dining room. So, especially now that the nephews are getting older and have girlfriends they want to attend and so on. So, but anyway, all right. So that is that. I'm gonna wash my hands and turn on the heat. It says medium high, so I'll put it up to about 6 is about medium high on this stove. I'll drink another. All right, so while that's going, I'm going to make up the sauce. Ooh, first time chat. Got a bot here, it looks like. All right. Okay. Ogre says, one day I will make a huckleberry pie just to see if they're actually good, if you put enough sugar in them as opposed to how my sweet phobic mother makes them. Blah. Yeah, no. I will give you my recipe for it. It's super easy. I have to look, but it's basically just huckleberry, sugar, and flour for the filling. And then I do a crumble top over the top of it. So, um, anyway, so yeah, I think they're fantastic. The worst part about huckleberry pies is picking all the huckleberries, because they're tiny and you need 4 cups of them. So it takes all day, and then you have to clean them and make sure that all the stems are off and weed out all the bad ones, etc. It's basically getting the huckleberries is an all day thing. But then they freeze impeccably well. So, all right. So 1 teaspoon or tablespoon sriracha. Also it says, uh, cook the wings skin side down over medium high heat, uncovered until the bottoms are browned, 8 to 10 minutes. Shaking the pan occasionally so the wings don't stick. Check on the bottom of the wings every few minutes to prevent them from overcooking. All right. I'm not even hearing it. Once I start hearing some sizzling in the pan, I'll start checking it. But like I say, in the meantime, I'm going to worry about the sauce. So I want 1 tablespoon of sriracha. Not that way. This way. Oh, it also helps if you turn on... Nope, that is the right burner. Okay. And I am starting to hear it sizzle a little bit, so I'm going to set a timer for 5, 6, 8 minutes, and I will check them pretty frequently. So that's 1 ounce. Sorry, not 1 ounce. 1 tablespoon of sriracha. And then we need a tablespoon of hoisin sauce. Let me scrape that out there. Being a tool using human this time instead of just using my fingers. Alright. And I'm not using any special brands or anything. It's just whatever I got at the grocery store. So this is 1 tablespoon of hoisin sauce. Is that about right? Yeah. I like hoisin sauce, so I occasionally err on the side of too much. Alright, and then 1 tablespoon dark soy sauce. Although you can use regular soy sauce if you don't have dark soy sauce. I happen to have it for a different recipe. Alright, and now 2 more things I need to add here, but I'm going to take a second and shake this pan to make sure they're not sticking. Now there's one there that's sticking a little bit. So I'm going to grab a spatula and sort of ease it off that. There we go. Yeah, I think I misread a bit. That's the bottom of that one. All right. Yeah, I think I misread it, and so I'm supposed to have at least the drumsticks part flipped over right now, but we're going to cook both sides, so... All right. I'm not that worried about it. Ogre says, aha, I see the dry sherry in the recipe. Yeah, it's... Exactly. Alright, so that was dark soy sauce. 2 tablespoons balsamic vinegar. Or, sorry, 2 teaspoons. Not tablespoons, 2 teaspoons. Hopefully I got that right when I copied it over. And by the way, it drives Lori nuts that I have all of my measuring spoons on a ring together, because then when you get one dirty, you have to do what I'm doing now. And getting balsamic vinegar everywhere. But you have to, hold one up so it doesn't drip things all over the place, and it basically makes them harder to use. But I like doing it that way because you can actually find them. All right, and then 2 teaspoons of toasted sesame oil, where did I do it? Oh, sorry, I put that one back because I made some pot sticker sauce for lunch. All right, that's starting to get serious over there, so I'm going to measure this out real quick. Toasted sesame oil is the key to Asian cooking as far as I can tell. It is the secret thing that makes everything better. Alright. And dump those down there. Let's take a look at the underside of these. Yeah, they're starting to brown a little bit. What they say we want to do here is run them over cooking. We want to until the bottoms are brown. Well, those bottoms are pretty brown. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and flip these over. Come on. So apparently I should have included the time to heat up the pan in that 8 to 10 minutes. So there we go. Flipped over. So now we want to throw sauce, blah blah blah. Turn the chicken wings. Reduce the heat to medium-low and cook the wings for another 12 minutes or until they are browned on the other side. So I'm going to drop that to, I'll say 3.5 there. Alright. So, and yes, I'm bad about this, leaving that sitting there instead of putting it on my spoon rest. Okay, so this is our sauce here. I'm not sure you're going to be able to see it in the tiny camera in the corner. But there you go. Oops, stir that up. So Ogre clarifies that he's by dry sherry in the recipe. He meant the substitution for a Chinese ingredient. Like I say, so the person who does the Omnivore's cookbook is actually Chinese. She, but her motto is that she realizes that not everyone has access to those ingredients nor time on a weeknight to do that. So she tries to do substitutions. She basically gives the recipe the way she cooks, and she is very open about this is the authentic version, and then another recipe is this is the version I make when I'm when the kids are running late at soccer practice and I need to throw something together. So I highly recommend her site for that. So is my Scott asks, is my flipper heat resistant? Yes, it will take a lot of heat because she asked because hers would melt if she rested on the pan, and she likes the red color. Thank you. It's very high. It's very heat resistant. It's not a big deal to leave it there. I'm I'm pretty bad about doing that most of the time. I have a few, but I haven't had one that's melted at all in ages. So, and usually, I think that was even when I was back at my mom's place, and she got rid of those eventually. All right, so while we're waiting for those to cook, I'm going to move those chicken wing tips to a bag so I can try doing the making a small batch of stock with them. Very small batch of stock because there's only about 6 of those wing tips in there. But yeah. All right, I have to use my hands and then wash my hands again. Is that all? That's all. All right. Really, we should make a drinking game out of every time I wash my hands, take a drink. So, all right. So, while these sit and cook and brown and all that, I will tidy up so that we can get ready for the second drink tonight. But yeah, I cannot talk up the Omnivore's cookbook enough. It is fantastic. I think I've talked it up on here before, but every time I go on there, I get reinvigorated with cooking. I find something fantastic, and like I say, I don't think I've had a bad recipe yet. I've had a couple that were just okay, or not really to my taste, but not bad. But I've had some really spectacular ones. I did a braised pork belly from there that was out of this world. I think I did the lettuce wraps on this show, and they were very good. So, all right. So, another 8 minutes on that. Let me get rid of this. But I ended up using organic, fancy chicken wings there because that's what they had in the right size at the store. They had like you could buy a 4-pound value pack, or you could buy a 1.5 pound, not organic but like free range or something, or you could buy exactly the right size, or at least I thought exactly the right size that I needed in this fancy kind. So because Lori's been getting on me to, basically not worry about it and just pay the extra buck for the thing that makes it so I don't have to go to another store, I did that. So, and now I just feel bad about spending the extra money. All right. Oh, one other thing about the Barbie drink earlier is that I did not pour it over ice, but because it's all juice, one trick you can do is actually pour it into an ice cube tray, freeze it, and then pour it in, pour the ice cubes of the frozen juice back in the drink. And that way you'll keep your drink cold, but not dilute it down during the party or while you're drinking it. All right, let me take a look. I'm pretty sure these are going to be, nope, they're not that brown. So good. I am going to move them around a little bit to make sure they're not sticking too badly. All right. So let me read what we're going to do next. So after this, after they're fully browned on the other side, if the chicken wings have rendered a lot of fat, use a few layers of paper towel attached in front of a pair of tongs to absorb any excess oil and then discard it. And then we pour the sauce over the wings and cook it over medium-high heat, tossing the wings in the sauce until the sauce is reduced enough that it coats the wings like a glaze, 2 to 3 minutes, and then serve immediately. So that's what we're going to do. Oh yeah, Winter Vespers says, "Oh wow, thank you." Yeah, the making ice cubes out of your drink trick is always really impressive to folks. It's always very fun to do. And like I say, it's also useful. The only trick is actually, thinking far enough ahead to freeze it and get it ready. But you can get little silicone ice trays in all sorts of different shapes. I have some in stars, and I even have a Death Star one, which you've seen before here. But yeah, it's always a real fun thing to do. You can theme the shape of the ice cubes to your party. You can also do things like, if you have something that you're freezing that's clear, or even just water, you can add a few drops of food coloring to it to change the color. You can, there are some drinks out there where you can like freeze one half of the drink and then make the other one, and it will slowly, as the ice melts, it changes the flavor of the drink slowly over time. Um, so yeah, no, you can do a lot of fun things with that. And technically, it's chemistry. Well, physics, I guess. But anyway, all right. So we have 3 minutes left. All right, I'm gonna get Steph out for the last drink tonight. And these are not making, well, they are making some oil in the pan, or, chicken grease. So I'll probably absorb some of that out of there. Alright, I have, of course, gotten so much vinegar everywhere, so I'm just gonna, I've got this thing over here, that Swedish, was it Swedish dishcloth, I think, that Tanya got me hooked on. Alright, so, alright, 2 more minutes. All right. So I am going to go ahead and tell you about the next drink before actually switching over to it. The last drink is out of the Drinking Like Ladies book that I've talked about before. And it is, this book is basically it's female bartenders making drinks about famous, well, I should say women bartenders making drinks about famous women. And this one is about a famous spy from the Revolutionary War, and who was only to this day known as Agent 355. And they actually did a movie that played on the premise of, basically of female secret agents who took on Agent 355 as the moniker of their group. So let's see, but we're all right, minute and a half. That's the thing, is I've got a minute and a half to talk while I'm waiting for that, which is just long enough to say something, but not really long enough to go into depth. So I want to read the whole article about it because it's really pretty fascinating, but I don't want to, I don't have time for that. But it's a little too long to just stand here and not say anything, because that would be creepy. So, how's everyone doing? Anyone got their Christmas decorations up, or I should say holiday decorations up? I think are we just past Diwali? And there's of course a ton of holidays of light, holidays themed around light and winter are coming up, and they're all spread around. I think actually Diwali was right before Thanksgiving. We actually started seeing a few lights go up around here about that. I'm gonna. Oh, here we go. And let's see. Yep, that is perfectly browned. I'm gonna loosen these up. I'm gonna flip them over again just because I want to make sure they're not stuck to the pan. And also those are pretty brown. Although that's how I like there to be a little more crispiness. Alright. So I don't know if you can see this, but there is a bit of oil down at the bottom there. I'm going to grab a paper towel and just pretend that I'm using the tongs to do this. I'm a bad, do as I say, not as I do. Just tilt the pan down, soak up that chicken fat, that schmutz. Is it schmutz or schmaltz? It's schmutz, I think, right? Alright. Not too terribly much. Then just toss that in the garbage. And now we are going to pour the sauce over the wings. Oh, we want, yeah, okay. So, and now, here's one of the problems with working with wings like this, is that they have a bit of grease on them from the cooking process. So if you're putting something on to glaze, wow, this is just glazing up real fast. But if you pour a sauce over it that's water-based, it's not going to stick real easily. So, come on. Alright, I'm holding it up over the burner so I don't really want that much heat on it right now. I want to make sure these are well coated before they get any more heat to really solidify that glaze on there. Hopefully you can still see this. So I'm guessing I probably had the pan up a little high. And yes, I should be using the rubber spatula instead of the metal spoon on the nonstick surface. Alright. They all look like they're pretty well covered here. Alright. So I'm going to call that good because I don't want to burn the sauce here. I just want it to solidify. And I may be pulling this off too soon, but I don't think so. I think that's starting to... It's hard to tell because the sauce was so dark to begin with. Alright. Let me get a plate out and I will dump those on the plate and we will give them a try. Or actually a bowl. Let's do a bowl. Alright. Let's see. Oh, Winter Vesper says lights are up throughout their area. The evening air smells of wood stoves. All it's missing is the snow, which Morning Wind agrees with. I am going to... Here a second. There we go. All right. So there is now a bunch of oil in there. I'm wondering if I just didn't get all the oil out, or were I to do this again, I would probably have grabbed a pair of tongs to get these out. But live and learn. So yeah, I don't know if you can see down at the bottom. There we go. Down at the bottom of the pan, there's oil with some of the sauce there. So I think I did not do a good job getting all the oil out, or it just spontaneously generated a bunch. So, all right. Okay, so I'm going to let those cool for just a second so I don't burn my fingers off. As a matter of fact, while I'm doing that, I am going to make the last drink. So yes, they do look. These do look very yummy. There they are. All right. Let me turn this back a little bit. There we are. But yes, they are still very, very hot. All right. So, last drink, or second drink, I should say, is, as I say, the Agent 355. Get to here. And let me read what they say in here. So, good voice practice. All right. So, they have her birth and death dates as unknown to circa 1780, that she was a revolutionary spy. The mark of an excellent intelligent officer is their ability to keep their identity unknown, something the mysterious Agent 355 has done for more than 200 years. Agent 355 was a member of the Culper Ring, a famous spy network that was instrumental in uncovering Benedict Arnold's plot to sell West Point to the British, which could have caused the defeat of General Washington. The Culper Ring was formed by civilian residents of occupied New York in 1780 and helmed by Long Island farmer Abraham Woodhull, who ran the operation under the codename Samuel Culper Sr. Robert Townsend, a dry goods merchant, was a key agent posing as his son with the codename Samuel Culper Jr. Some guess that Agent 355 was Robert Townsend's common-law wife. In the organization's elaborate code, 355 meant lady, a term reserved for women from well-heeled families or those who were educated. Identifying informants by social strata was key, as grooms or housemaids could provide vastly different intelligence than high society counterparts. From the quality of the information 355 delivered, many historians believe her to be from or connected to a prominent Tory family, allowing her access to New York's British and military elite. She was a main source of intelligence regarding the movements of Major John Andre, a debonair bachelor and head of British intelligence operations in New York, with a weakness for women. Brian Kilmeade and Don Yeager imagine her in their book George Washington's Secret Six as part of the glittering, giggling cluster of coquettes who flocked around Major Andre, suggesting that Agent 355 worked the room at his parties, gleaning as much as she could from his ale-addled conversations. When Major John Andre was hanged by General Washington for treason, and Benedict Arnold's plan was uncovered, thanks in great part to the intelligence this mysterious operative delivered. Cheers to this brave and mysterious Agent 355. So this recipe was invented by Kimberly Patton Bragg at Latitude 29 in New Orleans. It says here that Kimberly used some of America's oldest spirits, Lard's apple brandy and rye whiskey, to toast revolutionary Agent 355. Big, bold, and boozy, this is a cocktail that will help an undercover broad glean information from her foes. So, like I say, great book. Good cocktails, too. So, all right. Skull says, yay, secret agent lady. Yes. All right. So we are going to start off with 1 bar spoon of Steen's pure cane syrup. This is, by the way, the reason why I haven't done this before is I just got this in. I got it off Amazon. We've had things go in and out of fashion, but this is the second recipe that I've done on the show that calls for this stuff. And it's not terribly expensive. It's just I didn't necessarily want to store it until I started seeing more recipes call for it. All right, so I'm going to add that in. This, by the way, is a bar spoon. Nice long handle for stirring. It's got a twisty grip on it. The thing on the back here is just a counterweight. Doesn't really have any other purpose. You add 4 dashes of bitter now. And so the recipe calls for the Bitter Truths. What was it? Bitter Truths. Something bitters. The Bitter Truths aromatic bitters, which, as far as I can tell, are basically their version of Angostura. So that's what I use for this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. And then 1.5 ounces of rye. I'm going to use bunker rye because it's the only thing that I have 1.5 ounces left on. I need to stock up on rye again. And then, so 1.5 ounces here. And it's a perfectly fine rye, by the way. And I don't mean to disparage it. It's just what I had. Alright, so then 1 ounce of our Lard's straight Applejack 86. The impression I get from the recipe in there is that they might have used the 100, but I'm happy using the 86 here. I think it's perfectly fine. So we want 1 ounce of that. All right, and then, all right. So that's all we're putting in so it should be a stirring glass. I'm using a shaker that doesn't work very well, so it works fine for this. It just doesn't keep a good seal for shaking. But the thing we want to do to prepare the glass is what's called a velvet falernum rinse. And velvet falernum is a spirit. I've used it before. It's commonly used in tiki drinks and that sort of thing. A lot of strong flavors in it. But all we're going to do here is we're going to pour a bit into the glass. And it doesn't even have, it's like maybe 1/4 ounce that I poured in there. And then we're just going to basically coat the surface of the glass with that. And I'm not an expert at this. I don't do that many rinses. You could also, I suppose, get a spray bottle and just spray the inside of it, but I think this is what's more intended by a rinse. And then we're just going to pour the rest of it out. That's why you don't use very much of it there. And so the inside of our glass is coated with that stuff. So I'm now going to put some ice in here. And don't need that very much. Knock up the floor. And we're going to just stir that around. And before we strain that, I'm going to get a nice big ice cube to put in there. I just put these in a couple days ago and they're already starting to frost over on the top. All right. Put that in. And all we're doing again with the stirring is cooling things down. Make sure it's nice and well mixed. And then I'm going to put the strainer on, pour that in there. Now, if I remember right, this calls for a orange twist that I forgot. Well, I didn't have space to write down, so let me check that again real quick. This is why I always keep the recipes handy. All right. Oh, garnish with an orange twist speared with cloves. So I don't think I did that last time, and I made it for myself. So let me get orange and some cloves out. All right. So, and again, I'm just using the, rinse this off real quick. I'm using a vegetable peeler, not a channel cutter, because that's what I've got handy. And I don't mind doing it that way. All right, I'm going to spear that with some cloves. Here are my cloves. And literally what I'm doing is just punching the cloves through the skin of through the zest that I cut out. Not super pretty looking right now because I want to do it before the ice melts anymore. And also before the chicken wings cool down too much. Alright. Yeah, that one didn't puncture. So I'll give this one a try. Here. So, like I say, not very pretty, but that's kind of what it looks like. Just going to plunk that in. Just give it a quick swirl there. And there it is. The Agent 355. Let's give her a try. It's lovely. It is a strong drink. It is in the same class as I would say as like a Manhattan or a martini. There is a lot of, it's mostly alcohol in here. It's actually, I would say it's kind of more like an old fashioned almost. But it is, I'm not getting a ton right away from the cloves and orange. But it is interesting. It's complex. You do get the baking spice flavors of the bitters. You get, I think this is a drink that would really benefit from a good class of rye. I'm not getting a ton of apple out of it from the Applejack, but I can kind of taste that it's there. The Applejack is there. Winter Vesper says it does look secret agency somehow. I agree. This is a very elegant drink. Now I just have it I don't have it in a very fancy glass or anything, mostly because my fancier glasses, the big ice cubes don't really fit in. But yes, if you want to class this up with a nice glass, and I think that the more I sit and let the cloves and the orange steep into it, the more that flavor is going to come out. So yes, lovely drink, fantastic story. I recommend this one. It's very nice. I'm a fan. Like I say, I love just about everything. There was one thing I had out of this book that I was not a fan of, and it was sort of a champagne cocktail. And I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of wondering if I was wrong on that one. But anyway, now that we've got that, I'm going to put my hair back and then try some of these wings. So, trying to keep my hair down today, but wings and loose hair do not mix. We're getting serious now. Got my hair back. All right, so I'm just going to grab one of these. Nicely coated one. So I think part of me expected them to be like these sesame wings I get from a local restaurant. There's not a ton of sesame flavor in this. You get more of the balsamic vinegar than pretty much anything else. I actually wonder if it might benefit from a little bit of sugar in there to sweeten it up a bit. Which is not to say that they're not flavorful. They're not, that they're just not. They don't have a sweetness to them that I kind of like in my wings. There is a lot of, like I say, you can taste the soy, you can taste the vinegar, you can taste something else. What else am I tasting? Well, the hoisin, actually, I think that's another reason why I was kind of expecting there to be a more sweeter flavor, more like the hoisin sauce that's in there. But yeah, the hoisin doesn't really come through, which is not a bad thing. It's just I like hoisin sauce too. So I think I might tweak this personally. I think they're perfectly fine as one of the easier recipes for making wings that I've seen. As for the heat, there is just a trace of heat on these. Like, I can feel my gums kind of getting a little warm, but it's not burning my tongue off. I can tell that there is heat on this, but not enough that I'm not going to finish all of these. So, I think this is another victory for the Omnivore's Cookbook. Highly recommend that site in general, and this is a good recipe from them. So, yeah, and it goes well, I think, especially with the Agent 355. I'm sure it will go well with the Barbie drink too, but I'm going to have the 355. There's something about chicken wings and and whiskey that speaks to my soul. And maybe that's my butch side coming out, but I think those two go well. I think the Malibu Barbie drink would also go perfectly well with these, especially if you add the bitters in. But even if you don't, I think they would be fine. That would actually give them almost a Polynesian feel to it. Although, again, I tend to associate sweeter teriyaki-like flavors with Polynesian stuff. And, of course, just saying Polynesian, there's the whole... Anyway, so that I don't go off the deep end again, I'm just going to say goodnight, and thank you all for being here. Oh, I should actually probably... let's see. Scott says, winner, chicken dinner. Morning Wind asks if this drinks. Scott says that it's stirred, not shaken. Morning Wind asks, does it make you want to ferret out secrets while coolly wandering the casino? No, I'm thinking more ski cabin, where you've just done the race down the mountain with the enemy agent, and you're relaxing with the femme fatale who's going to betray you in the end. That's the drink that I'm thinking this is. So perfect for the upcoming ski season. Let's see. So yes. So yeah, I think that is it. Oh, I was going to, for a change, actually look for someone to raid to. because I'm very bad about that, and we'll see if there's anyone out there who's up for it. And I'm gonna set the chicken wing down now. They're good. I haven't eaten too much today. All right. We will go to DJ Crystal Love, who is a trans DJ, plays all sorts of great music, and let's see. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. And DJ. Am I typing that right? It's all one word. Yeah. Okay. See if this works. Is it saying that we're... Oh, nope. Okay. That's my problem. I don't do this often enough to remember how to do it. DJ Crystal. All right. Thank you all for being here. We are rating in 6 seconds. Cheers and have a great time. All right.